Excuse me. Just briefly, you guys have all heard us over and over again. I think we all agree that we have an issue. The problem is, this county's like every other county. Where do we find the money to try to address it? Nobody has enough money to address this problem. This problem is huge.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Some of us may.
Judge Hawkins. I'm sorry, Judge Hawkins. I'm your circuit court judge. I apologize. I've seen you guys so many times that I apologize. We have a unique opportunity that you've all heard. I don't know if it'll ever come back again. It just happens to be the perfect storm of a facility, of the governor totally in support. We've got this money, which you guys all need, I understand, and I'm not asking for all of it. I understand that's a big ask. We are asking for what you could possibly carve out, because I want to have Hawkins County have a seat at the table. I want you guys to be in charge of how we run this facility. I want our citizens to have beds. I have nowhere to put our citizens here, all of these people that we can help. And if we can help them at that level, get parents healthy, get families back together, we're not going to have all the problems in the elementary, the middle schools, and high schools that we have, because we'll have the family unit back, which I think everybody here agrees is the way for a healthy child to be developed. So we are asking with our eyes open and understanding that you have a lot of needs for this money. But I will tell you, it will benefit our community and bring more money to this community if we can get our population healthy, working, paying for health insurance, paying for themselves. A good, healthy workforce would be wonderful for the local businesses to utilize. So it's a one-time ask. We will not be coming back to ask for more money. We've got commitments from Nashville for that. We just need the money to get this up and running. And I just hope that you guys, it sounds like you've got, an issue here, like every county, but I hope you can carve out a little bit of money for ours as well. And I think at this point, Hamlin County has allocated $500,000 for us, and we're just, they got, I can't remember exactly how much they got, but we're just asking for something similar so that we've got a place to put our people. All right. Any questions? Anybody? I know we've kind of hashed it out a few times, but if anybody have any questions that we can answer?
Has any other county committed anything about currently?
Yes, and if I could see the floor, he's got the financials. Judge Street.
Yes. Good to see you all again. Once again, I'm Stacy Street. I'm the criminal court judge, one of the criminal court judges in the 1st Judicial District. Just in summary, there's $33 million that was awarded to the participating cities and counties from Johnson County down to Hamlin County that were involved in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Judicial Districts. After the Dangle attorney fees, $21 million left, split up according to population. The commitments that we have so far are Carter County had $1.4 million. They've allocated all of their money to this. Sullivan County has roughly $4 million, and all indications is that they're going to allocate all $4 million of their money. The city of Elizabethton has $300,000 that they've done. Johnson County is going to give $50,000. The Hamlin County got $1.5 million. They're going to allocate $500,000, a third of that to this facility. The Washington County Commission has a Health Education and Welfare Committee. They've got about $4 million, and we think we're in line for about $2 million of that. It's not, that money's not dedicated yet, but that looks like where they're headed with that.
Okay.
What our plan is, and we've been to so many city council meetings, town hall meetings, county commission meetings, budget committee, health, education, and welfare. We've been to all of these, and it's the same conversation you all are having. So don't feel like you're unique here. You've got these good people that fight your fires, let you sleep good at night, give you good roads, all worthy causes. And there's just not enough of the pie to give everybody what they want. We know that. One thing that we will not do, and one thing that, and I'll give you an example of that. We've had these same conversations with Greene County. In Greene County, the judges and the officials and the sessions judge there, and everybody was on board that we want to do this. Our county commission, they got $2 million, $2.1 million. They just took it and paid off debt service with it. Every single dime of their baby dough money. So they're not going to be sitting at the table deciding how this facility is going to run. And they chose to treat it differently. But then they asked, they said, well, we'd still like to be involved in this. Come and talk to us and we'll see if we can find some money. And we're going to decline to do that because we stated that we will not ask taxpayers for fundings. Because this money, even though once it went into your account, it became taxpayer money. We know that. This money didn't come from taxpayers. This money came because those companies sold a bill of goods that our citizens bought, and now we have an opioid epidemic. This is punishment for them. This is to try to pay back the counties and cities and towns for all of the money that it's cost you all to face this opioid epidemic. You don't have revenues because people can open a business here, they can't get anybody to work. Either because they're drug addicted or they're getting checks from President Biden that they don't have to work, they can make more money on unemployment than they can there. That's what Judge Boniface is talking about. You can change the whole culture of people here. In these programs, we require people to work. We require people to pay rent. We require people to have their insurance. It changes everything. And they get their kids back, and you're not a drain on your health departments, and the first responders are going out to their house with Narcan to get these people off overdoses and things like that. And that's what this money can do. Now, it's not a magic pill. Everybody that comes in this program is not going to be successful. And if they're not, we're going to send them to the penitentiary. But those that we can help a whole lot of people. And that's what this funding is about. When the DAs came to us and said, listen, and think about that. You got the chief law enforcement officer, each county, each district, came to us and said, look, our job depends on putting people in jail and doing justice, but we can't do it this way. We've heard you talk about this program, let's make it happen. When they came to us, we said, we'll use this money, but I'm not going to ask taxpayers for funding. If we can get enough of this money to do that and get a facility that we don't spend all our money getting a facility and not have enough money to run it, then I said we can make it work. We tried really hard with Green Valley years ago. It was going to cost $50 million to get that facility up to speed, and nobody can afford that. And as Judge Boniface said, this all sort of came together as a blessing from above if it comes through. But the key is going to be some of this baby dough money. And I'll tell you how we're going to fund it. Mental health and substance abuse. That is the state agency that oversees drug and alcohol treatment in the state of Tennessee. If you've got somebody that in your family, a loved one, and you come to somebody and say they need help. If you're at school and you call DCS and say this person needs some help, they're passed out in the drop-off line at school. And that happens every place we've ever been. Passed out, dead cold in the drop-off line, dropping their kids off to school, which means they drove from somewhere there that way. If you call somebody, the people they have to send them to is somebody that's been approved by mental health and substance abuse. So they're the overreaching thing. There's a commissioner. They've written a grant specifically for this facility in Roanoke Mountain. And that grant will be $1 million the first year. And then it's reoccurring funding, $1.3 million. That's what we're going to operate this facility with, is that $1.3 million that we're getting from the state grant. The baby dough money, what we're going to do with that is it will be deposited with this subcommittee, which if you contribute money, you will have a seat at the table, an equal seat with everyone else. And they're going to take this money and we're going to allocate that, use it to start the facility up, get the things we need running. And that's going to be our safety net. And that's what we're not going to come back to the counties and say, well, you know, we asked you for this, but now we're going to need some more money. We're not going to do that. We're going to operate with what we have out there. If we get half of that baby dough money, we got $10 million total in this account. We've got enough to run that facility for the first 5 years of that lease, including that grant, and still have a safety net money there. That's our assurance to you that we're not going to come back and ask you for more funding. If this subcommittee says your budget for this year is $900,000 and that's all you can afford to live within your means, then we'll operate this facility within that budget. It may not be as grand as what we think. We're not going to come back to you and say, we can't do this, you need to do it. We're going to operate with whatever you give us. But that's what the baby dough money is going to be used for. That $1 million that we get that first year is a reimbursement type deal. So we have to submit what we spend. So we got to spend the baby dough money, but it would be reimbursed with the grant, which would then go to this subcommittee. And they would have complete oversight on that. That's the structure that's fair for everyone. And if you give your baby dough money to this subcommittee, and it's in their checking account, and if something happens in this facility doesn't work out, then that each entity, your county money will be given back to you. And you can use it for whatever you want. We've worked real hard to try to be as transparent as we can possibly be. There's nothing hidden here. The salaries and everything and this money would be used with those people that are doing treatment. The person's going to be oversight over this. This is a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week, 365 day a year hospital treatment. So we got to have people to run it. But Judge Boniface, myself, Judge Goodman, Judge Pearson, Judge Ross, we don't get any salaries. All we get is about 3 or 4 extra hours a week of work that we volunteer for this, as do all of the team members. And I don't know if we talked about this a whole lot, and it doesn't have to do with numbers, but let me tell you why this works so well. Our team members for these recovery courts are our example in the first district. Judge Boniface is the same. We've got judges. There's 2 of us over there because we've got so many. We've got a DA. We've got a public defender. We've got a private attorney. We've got a treatment provider. We've got a probation officer. We've got a community corrections officer. We've got a private citizen. We met last night at 4 o'clock, and I walked out of our drug court meeting last night at 8 p.m. And we screen people that we may see in court. Somebody, an attorney may refer them. A citizen may come and say, my child needs help. And we screen them. We do background checks. We make sure they're not a violent offender, make sure they're not a sex offender. We look and see what treatment they've been in before, and we look for the best candidates, and we look for the high risk, high need. The people we know that are going to die, are going to go to the penitentiary if they don't get help. It's a great model, but as we said before, the problem is we're trying to treat them when they hang around the playmates in the same sandbox. This inpatient facility, 12 to 18 months, will be a game changer. And we want Hawkins County to have a seat at the table on how this is run. Because we've listened to you all at the commission meetings. We've talked to some of you all either here or at the Republican dinner and at other places. I've happened to see some people. There's Boniface. There's not a person in this room that can't point to somebody. It may not be your son or your daughter, your loved one, but you got an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a grandchild, somebody is battling this. And it is so disheartening when you look at them and say, what can you do? I said, we don't have anything to do. This changes that. And this changes lives. So our goal, long answer to the short question, is about $4 million right now, $4 to $5 million that we can save. They could write a check right now. We want to get that balance as high as we can, and that's our safety. We don't overspend whatever the budget's set by that subcommittee. That money is there so we don't come back. And I think the first question I was ever asked when we appeared in front of you back in the winter, what assurance do we have that you won't come back to us asking for more money? It's that baby dough money that committee holds. As high balance as we can get assures that we don't. One other thing, there are rumblings that if we get this facility up and running the way we think we can, and the way we plan to do it, by the end of that 5-year lease that we've got on that facility, and that lease is reoccurring for as long as we need it, the state of Tennessee may come in and take over that program, and they'll fund it completely, and we'll run it at that point in time. And of course, the baby dough money would still be under the guise of this subcommittee. But that would give us the opportunity to expand it. You always talk about mental health issues. We would like 10 or 12 beds here for Frontier Health to have a place when the sheriff has to go pick up somebody because they're having an episode, and you try to take them, I don't know whether to go down here, try to take them to Woodbridge, Johnson City, or at the ER. They treat them and release them and say, go to your local health department, which is the stupidest thing in the world. Yeah, they got a mental health problem. They don't know to go to the health department. So what the sheriff's departments are attached with, I'm sure they'll back me up here. You got over to put them in jail. So you got people that got mental health issues and they got them in jail, holding them there, burdening them because they don't have anywhere to take them. If we can get the state on board, if we get Frontier Health on board, we're going to put some beds up here where they'll have a place to transport them, treat them, to get an honest to God plan for them.
Just can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have you guys, since, a lot of times when folks are having a mental health crisis, they can take the emergency room, and of course we all know that they all rooms are emergency rooms here, so they do end up taking an emergency room bed sometimes for 24 hours before they can get a placement for them. Have you guys approached Ballot for this? I mean, maybe if you're addressing mental health.
Let me tell you what we've done. We've met with Ballot. We've met with ETSU. The problem in dealing with them is they always want to be the captain of the ship. They put the first question they ask is, how are we going to make money on this? I'm like, no, this is not a money maker, trust me. How are we going to make money on this? The second question is, well, this is the structure we want. And we're like, no. Ballard, you're supposed to do health. Bring us a doctor up there. Bring us a nurse. Staff that. Because these are the people that are drain on our society. They're the ones with the cirrhosis of the liver and the heart attacks and the brain bleeds. This is the people that abuse their bodies. Put us somebody up there and staff it. Medical staff. We come to Frontier Health. You're the experts in mental health. Put us an on-site person up there and we'll do it. We went to ETSU. You've got a medical school. You've got a psychiatry department. You've got a psychology department. First thing ETSU says is, okay, when we do medication-assisted treatment, we're going to dose methadone sponsors. Nope, not going to do it. We're not running a pharmacy there. We'll do Vivitrol, which is that injection we talked about, which is a medication-assisted treatment. They can't get high on that. We don't see people trying to sneak Vivitrol because you can't get high on it in the jails like we do Suboxone. This in the Bible into the jail with Suboxone strip stuff. John 3:16, Romans 1:4. So they can peel it off and melt it on the tongue. We got no business with that. So we've reached out to them and we've left the door open. But we've told them, you got a partner. You don't captain the ship. This subcommittee will captain the ship. And you won't have a bigger seat at the table. If they're willing to do that, we welcome, and we welcome anybody. Churches want to come on and provide meals every week, which we've got some lined up to do that. To fellowship with the participants in the program. It helps the church. It really helps those people. If we've got the employers that we've told you about, we've got two major employers in Carter County that are going to employ some of these people. The TCAT training, First Tennessee Development District has already told us that they're going to provide transportation by way of a van, net trans they call it there. I'm not sure what they call it here, it's public transportation. They're going to take these people from there down to the TCAT to have the certification training and drive them back free of charge. So we'll welcome any partner that wants to do it, but they have to be a partner, not a captain of the ship. And I'm not casting bad things in ballot or EPSU, but they wanted to take it over, and we said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to answer to this committee that have committed the money. And if you can work with them, we'll work with you, but if you want to run the show, we're not going to do it that way. So
Eric, what's the amount that you have to have in your fund balance according to TCA?
It's not a TCA requirement, it's a CCAS recommendation. We are over it, it's a bare minimum of 20%, but again, I don't think we should, flirt with the minimum. I think we should stay healthily above the minimum.
Sure. So I'll just run some numbers really quick. If, let's say, the 1.6 million that we received in baby doll money, it padded our fund balance this year considerably. If that money was used as a whole, which I'll go ahead on record and say I'm not in support of using the whole amount. But if we did, we have up to 1.6 million. If that was taken away, our projected fund balance for 22-23 would drop to 5 million.
What?
Something, right?
No, I've held it out because you guys already tentatively had reserved it, and so not knowing what your intentions were, but expecting it to be spent in some form or fashion, I've pulled it out of that undesignated fund balance.
Thank you.
You're aware of
I don't want to take up anyone else's time. If y'all have questions, be happy to answer. And Judge Boniface is the great orator. Whatever, we want you all at the table. We're going to deliver the best product we can for the citizens of, and this is the beauty of East Tennessee, Hawkins County and beyond. And as much as you can bear to give, we would appreciate it. And we promise to be good stewards of that money and come back with a good product for you and something you can be proud of.
Judge Street, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe I heard you say that maybe your long-range plan is that the state will take over this facility eventually. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, our long-range plan is to run this till I drop dead one of these days and hope somebody else pick it up.
That wouldn't be good to drop dead.
But some people may differ with that. This need's not just going to go away. And, we're gonna open it at about 80 beds to make sure we run it correctly. But I would like to see it expand to help 300 people if we could. And the state would then begin funding everything, not just grants, it would be their program. We would still run it as a recovery court, but they would be footing that bill each year. That's always a goal. I'm always a little tentative about that because everything the state of Tennessee takes over, sometimes they mess it up. And I wouldn't want to mess it up, but that would be and the reason why Governor Lee and the Deputy Governor Butch Ely were so excited, what they looked at us and they said, this could be a flagship program for the entire state of Tennessee. You all show the state how to do it. That you can get counties as far away as Carter and Hawkins, Johnson, and Hamlin, and Washington, and Sullivan. We can't agree on where boundaries are sometimes. To come together with a viable option. There's state buildings sitting all over the state. They're sitting there just falling down. Nobody's taking care of them. That's a drain on us that could be used for this. We want to start something that spreads all across the state. And that's why I think the state is looking to us to give them a model to go by. And that's a source of pride. It's also a great resource for the people here in Tennessee. So that's when I say the state's going to take it over. I think the state may start a program like this and use the one we're trying to do as a model.
Mr. Chairman, when would be an appropriate time to discuss the actual number?
Everybody just be quiet and talk about
Okay.
Ray had a question.
You have a question, yes, sir?
Are these, you talked about the grants per year, up to 5 years.
Yes.
Is that guaranteed?
Yes, they're reoccurring, as long as the state legislature funds them. And the mental health and substance abuse include these grants in their budget each year. So
What happens after 5 years if the state doesn't take it over and the grants end?
then we'll operate the program with what money that we have. And there, as you all know, there are a bunch of other grants out there that we're going to write for each year too. That staff, that First Tennessee Development District, that's what they're really good at, is writing grants for. We're going to try to get as much money as we can. We're not just going to get this and sit on baby dough and ride that horse till it falls over. We're going to keep trying to get other funding, even if the state comes on to it. So the more money we get, the better the program can be.
Do you have an estimate, Judge, on each fund, if you start out like 80 beds, what's the budget gonna look like as far as how much it's gonna cost to run that facility?
That's that packet, the packet we gave is, it's $2.8 million to open the doors. Okay, and that's, we gotta buy, when the state shut the prison down, they took the ovens out and the washers and dryers, because I guess they were gonna use them somewhere else. Which was I was kind of glad, because the state showed a little bit of sense when they did that. We got to get a detector at the front of it, because we don't want anybody bringing things in and out. And that money's the toilet paper down to hiring a director. After that, it's $1.8 million to run that at the maximum. Huge facility, $33,000 a year electric bill, gas bill. The gas hood has to be inspected each year. The sprinkler system has to be inspected. The sewer thing, all of those things. But it's about $1.8 million a year. And that $1 million grant plus the other grants we're writing for, and then be subsidized with some baby dough money each year, depending on what the grants are. So that money that thing we sent out to you all, that is a maximum amount of budget. If we have to have a smaller thing, then that money would be smaller. And if that subcommittee says, you've got $1.1 million and we're going to run $1.1 million. Let's say you got $800,000, we'll run it as $800,000.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to, if it's okay to talk about it now, I'd like to move to allocate $300,000 of the $1.6 million of baby dough money to the, I don't know what the proper title of the program.
It's the Northeast, let me give you the right. It's the Northeast Tennessee Correctional, the Northeast Tennessee Regional Recovery Center.
So I move to allocate $300,000 of the $1.6 million baby dough money to the Northeast Regional Correctional Facility.
Jason, I believe it'd be 400,000.
If we, I mean, it's up to them, and I'm okay with 400,000.
It'd be 400,000 and then put 1.2 back.
Change that to 400,000, so I so move, Mr. Chairman.
You second that motion?
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Rhodes, second by Commissioner reads that we contribute. I guess
Actually,
that
we
we
could
could
recommend to the full commission that we,
but that we contribute $400,000.
Put 1.2 back in general fund.
Yeah, it's open for discussion.
I'd like to ask a follow-up question to Judge Street before you guys vote on that. Does the bed allocation tie to the contribution, or is it on a per capita basis, or how does that part of it work?
The regional commission, that subcommittee from the First Tennessee Development District, they'll make that determination on how it will be allocated. We're gonna take them on a first come, first need basis, and it's high risk, high need in recovery court. These are the worst of the worst. These are the ones that are causing the most problems for our region. So we do it on a first need, a first come, first served basis, always with a waiting list. So we're not, that committee determines how they're gonna allocate that, but we may staff it with what we can put in there. First come, first served is how we'll do it.
Judge Street, at what point will we know, we'll have a representative from Hawkins County that will sit on that commission? When will we know when that availability is made, and how will you guys choose that person, or is that something the commission will choose?
No, as I told you before, Mayor Venable in Sullivan County, Mayor Woodby in Carter County, and Mayor Grandy in Washington County, even though Washington County hasn't contributed money yet, I told Mayor Grandy, I said, by God, you better get some money in here, you're out. But they kind of took the bull by the horns and filed for an employee identification number, the paperwork to set up this subcommittee, the nonprofit, and they've got the letters of incorporation, they've opened a bank account. You all decide who your representative is. We started out saying the mayor from each county. Well, some county commissions, believe it or not, don't like their mayors. So they said, by God, no, our mayor ain't going, we'll choose who it is. So we're going to leave that up to you. You'll have a seat at the table if you contribute this money, and you all get to choose who you're going to send. And it'll be, y'all get to choose who has a seat at the table. They use mayor sometimes just because that's a figurehead, so it never changes. You all decide who you want to send. And that committee's being formed now. The makeup of it will depend on who contributes the money. And they can direct you, if you so choose, where to put the money, where to send it in the bank account. And it's all going to be held until we have the final approval, the lease signed by that committee and everything. Okay.
Judge Street, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I probably missed this. Do they have to be convicted felons? Is there a requirement as to what they've been convicted?
No, most of them, because of the length of the program, because it's 12 to 16 months, 1129 misdemeanors won't get there.
Right.
Judge Bailey was really big on this in Greene County, and your sessions judge over here, we talked to him too, Judge Ross, tried to let him know that a lot of these people have 11-month, 29-day sentences running consecutive to felony offenses. You know, they got a bad felony case, then they go down to Walmart, shoplift, and they get 1129 tacked on the back of it. They can come in. Most of them are convicted felons. Okay. These are the worst of the worst.
Okay.
And we try to catch them before they either go to the penitentiary or we get them help. And that's what most of them will be. And that'll be the makeup of it at the beginning, because we're going to take them out of the jails to lessen the burden on the jails, and put them in this facility. If we can grow it like we want to, then we want some beds for those citizens. If an organization comes to us and says, we need a long-term inpatient facility, can we have this person come here? We'd like to be able to do that. But at the beginning, they will be the worst of the worst.
Any other discussion on the motion? Is everybody ready to vote? Sarah, you do a roll call, please.
Ray Jesse,
Yes.
Keith Gibson,
Yes.
Charlie Thacker,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Rick Brewer,
Yes.
Bob Eads.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, for what all you're doing. I
We-
apologize, I may have asked repetitive question. I wasn't able to do it the last meeting, I apologize.
We've been a lot of these things. I want to tell you all, you should be proud, and the citizens should be proud of the way you all conduct business, the way you listen to your constituents, and you make informed decisions. I don't know why anybody would ever want to be on a county commission and make money to take that job to do that, but it's very much appreciated. Any questions y'all have for us, and we'll come back anytime you need us. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.